Yesterday, had we solved that one or were we still working on it? Hello?
Okay, sorry, I was on mute. It was in the middle. We got the password, but it was not logging into the that particular
Yeah,
instance.
we are trying to access it. Yeah, okay. Let's see what else we need to do. So, did you try to log in? Did you try something different?
I tried,
Try.
but didn't work.
Okay. What did you do?
Just I changed and that Umbraco uses CMS, so related to that also I tried to enter, but couldn't.
Okay. Yesterday, what we were trying was
We are trying to log in into that CTS.
yes. So, so there were three parameters: username, password, and hostname. Okay, and the username. What did we try as the username yesterday?
SG@anthem.com.
Okay, so sg at the rate anthem.com, and this was not working.
Yeah.
So, can you think of any changes that we could make?
Password.
What are you going to try as the password?
Or there should be only SG we need to use instead of @anthem.com.
We can try that and try changing that. Let's see if it works. But the thing is, this machine you've seen, it takes like 5 minutes to load.
Okay.
So even if I do something that should normally work, it may not work currently. So
Okay.
let's see. Okay, let me try accessing the website. If the website is working, then you should be able to log in. It's taking time.
In such cases, how we should think like it does not work. We have imagined something, but sometimes we feel like okay, it doesn't work means this is not the right one.
You always have to use a little bit of trial and error because nothing is, this is, it's part of this process. You have to sometimes try, you'll sometimes run into, dead ends, you'll
Okay.
sometimes spend hours trying to do something that ultimately does not work on your target. But that happens. So
Okay.
it's part of what happens in this kind of thing. So, okay, so the website is accessible, so I think we should be able to work. Let's see. If I try this, okay, you said we should try without this. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Mm, okay, let's try now. Let's see what happens.
Yes. Right. We are able to access.
No, that is if it's asking for the, like, whether you trust this host or not. If this opens up, that means we are able to access. It to
Okay.
you.
Actually, I tried with all the passwords.
Okay,
Didn't work like changed password and all. Now I thought like usually we don't use like a domain and all right. So I
exactly.
felt
These are things that I know a little bit of trial and error is required. When I came across this the first time, I also tried to use the entire thing. Then it didn't work. So I tried this. Okay, so we are now able to access our target through RDP. Okay. Now there is a file called user in the desktop. Let's just try to access it. See what we get. Okay, so there is some value that we are getting THM. No, so this is basically the user flag for this CT for this challenge. So let's figure out the username. Okay, we've done that. Gain initial access, which is the content of user.txt. So we have figured that out. This is the first flag. Now, of course, this is the user flag. So what will the other flag be?
what question is asked. Sir? Next one.
The next question will be just it's saying that can you spot the admin password?
Okay.
Okay. So what I was asking is, once you have found the user flag,
Hmm.
what is the next flag that you have to find? Or what is the last flag that you need to find in a machine?
Hmm. Maybe related to that particular what is that when we access yes.
In any CTF, the last flag when you are accessing, when you are hacking a machine, the last flag that you need to get is the root flag or the admin flag.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so in Linux, it's the root flag, and like we've done in previous CTS, we worked on the getting the other flags first, then we perform some kind of privilege escalation,
Yeah.
and then we figured out the root flag. That was the last thing that we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so so now we need to figure that out. And okay, the first thing that it asked us was, what is the admin password? Now we don't know the admin password for now, so let's see. Let's try and figure out.
Sir, these flags are exactly where these are used.
These are not used anywhere, like I said.
Okay.
It's just like you're
They
solving
just,
you're
yeah.
solving a puzzle, and this is the answer that you get. So
Okay.
if you get to the flag, that means you know you've solved it.
Okay.
It's like you have a question, you answer it. This is the answer. There's no other use.
In actual scenarios, we are nowhere using those any kind of
Yeah,
flags
we are
like
not using
this.
flags, but the techniques we use to get to these flags are applicable in actual scenarios.
Okay.
Of course,
This
in a real
PC.
scenario, if you're doing some pen testing, so of course there will be no flags or anything there.
Okay.
But the techniques, the tools, the concepts that we use here, those will carry over.
Yes.
Okay, so now it asks us what is the admin password. We don't know the admin password. Okay, there was nothing related to that on the website either.
Yes.
Let's see, let's look around if we can
Yeah.
find.
In documents you can see, or in this one see um,
I guess we'll have to look around desktop, downloads, documents. If there's anything we can
picture.
find. Yeah,
See.
looks like
Yeah.
it's all empty. Okay,
See.
C. Yes, we can also try looking in C. Mm,
So users cycle,
users. Okay,
administrator.
that's the thing. You will not be able to access the administrators folder.
Oh, okay, then we need to go to SE
Okay.
and there itself we need to find out
You,
the way to
if you try to access the administrator, then this is what you'll get. Okay. Uh, Within SG also we can look.
do. And
Now there
public
is
is there.
public. Okay, yeah, public is also there. There are public documents folders, empty. Okay, downloads again empty. Okay, that does not really look like there's anything
Yeah.
usable here. Public pictures, public videos. Nothing. Hmm, okay, so if you come down here, like if you scroll down here and you take a look at the hint, so it says it is hidden.
Oh, okay.
This is talking about the password.
So
Okay, so
it,
it is
it
hidden.
may be in somewhere hidden files.
Yeah, it may be a hidden file, it may be a hidden folder.
Hmm.
So what do you do in Windows to get access to like anything that might be hidden?
Uh, right click and we can get the hidden files and then we can see
Right click and
on that, yeah, on that particular folder. If you right click and select properties, if we go and the hidden files.
but what particular folder do we need to look at? We don't really know any particular folder that would be containing the
Yeah,
password. SG,
SG and I feel public we can do that thing.
so that means you are sure that it will be somewhere under users. What if it's not?
Then
See, you are not going to
we,
go and change the properties for every single folder. individually, right?
Yes.
That
So
would
see,
not be feasible.
so right click here only, then go to property. Then you can make a visible hidden.
And I click here and I go to properties. These are the properties of the users folder. Again,
Oh, okay.
what do you do if you want to change the settings so that you can see hidden files as well?
I don't remember now.
Don't remember. It's actually
Mm.
right. Uh, Nothing complicated. Just either you can go through the control panel or just go here. Okay. Now I have typed the entire word, but it's a little slow. So you just need to flip this setting. Apply.
Sorry, sorry. Can you show me once again? I missed it.
Either you can go through the control panel or just search for hidden.
Hidden.
Okay, so it shows up here.
Yes.
Get this file explorer option. Just
Yeah.
check this option.
Right. Okay.
Now there is a direct folder known as default here, but this again is something that is created by the operating system by Windows, not by a user. So if I try to go to see again, is there anything new here that wasn't there the
Backup.
previous backup? Okay,
Backup.
let's try accessing that. So it shows up as a hidden folder. And there is this text file, so I think we should try and open it. Okay, so
No
it says you do not
permission.
have permission to open this file. See the owner of the file or an administrator to obtain permission. Hmm. So we can't see the contents of that file currently. So what do we do?
We can change the permission. Yes.
Okay, uh, how do we do that?
As I remember, I can right click and
Right click.
go to properties
Okay,
and advanced or somewhere here.
advanced.
Advanced.
Hmm. No, you don't really need to do anything that
Yeah.
is related to advanced.
Somewhere it is there, like we can change its permissions. We can make it as right permission.
You can change its permissions. That is correct. But where?
What is there in the change?
Hmm?
Change. If you click on change, what did come?
Okay, that is excuse me, that is going to just change the application that you use to
Okay.
like
Okay.
open the file.
Open it. I don't remember. So maybe again we have to go to control panel and there
No,
it
no,
is
no,
saying
you don't have to do anything.
security. Okay, yeah. Here, yes.
So see, no groups or users have permission to access this object. So we can just try editing, and we're going to add. Now it's going to ask us what users do you want. Select the object name. So our username is SG, so I'm just going to use that. Check names. Okay, so it has this user. Click on OK. Now as SG, now we already have read and execute and write. If you want, you can also say give it full control. Apply this. Okay, okay again. And if I try to access this now, I can see the contents. So this is what looks like another password. So this should be the administrator password now. So what I can do is either I can create a separate connection with free RDP, sorry, X free RDP, or I can just try to,
Directly access from this.
I can switch the, or I can just try to get the admin permission. Oh, I guess I did not copy that. It didn't get copied for some reason. Let's go back.
Change me baby one more time.
Yeah, but uh,
Not possible.
sometimes they might include some numbers or something. Okay, in this case they've kept it simple, so that's good. Yeah, I just type the entire thing. RDP connections can be really slow sometimes. So, okay, so we are basically able to now access this directory.
Yeah.
So we can look around for the admin flag now. Is it on the desktop? Ah, okay, it is on the desktop. So this is the admin flag, and escalate your privileges to root, the content of root.txt, and we have figured that out now. So excuse me. We can say that now our work on this particular CTF or this particular system is, because once you gain administrator access, once you have the credentials, or once you're able to escalate your privileges to administrator, then there is nothing else left to do. Okay, so I think I should just terminate this. Do you have anything from this Anthem CTF that you would like to ask?
Nothing, sir. It's
Oh,
clear.
uh,
Yes.
okay,
But for
so
me, these cities are not opening only. It is taking time, and I have to terminate and then connect.
redeploy. Okay, I think some instances on the site are configured in such a way that they can't really deploy a lot of the same instances
Okay.
properly at the same time. It, I mean, that should not be the issue, but it is.
This is the second time I did, but it is not connecting to that instance.
How much time did you wait after you deployed it?
When you started the class, right?
Okay.
Till now, this is second time I did. I'm waiting still. I
See,
waited recently. I again terminated and created new one, and I'm trying to
okay.
open. It's maybe more than 3 4 minutes now.
You have to give it at least 5 to 7 minutes. Yes, because even in my case, it does not work before a minimum of 5 minutes,
Oh,
because
it's
it's a cloud instance. It needs time to deploy properly and perform all the configuration that needs to be done.
okay. Now I'm getting go back recommended and advanced buttons on that IP address. It is not connecting and it is telling go back. No, it is connecting different IP address. Trying to connect.
Can you share the screen? Let me get a better idea.
Yeah, now it is. I guess it was taking IP address from the cache and it was connecting, trying to connect previous one.
Okay.
Still now it has not connected. I need to wait for. It's now just 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Taking some time.
Pardon?
It is taking some time. It is not connecting. Yeah, it is for it.
Like you were saying, it's showing you to go back or advance what?
Yeah,
Trying.
yeah, it was showing go back, and here it was connecting that previous IP address which was I was trying to connect but couldn't do that. So again terminated and enter this, but it was taking that old IP only.
Oh. You can try accessing it from an incognito session or a private window.
What is that parameter session, sir?
Like just in the browser, open an incognito window or a private window if this is like Firefox you're talking about.
I need to open one more.
Like if it does not work, like if it is unable to connect in that case, because in an incognito window or in a private window, what happens is it does not contain or it does not store any of your data. No, like if you are logged into some place, it will log you out. It will not store anything for you.
Okay. How I can go to that private?
Okay, what browser are you using?
It's a Firefox.
Firefox. Okay, so okay, go to the menu for Firefox. Just go to this new private window option and you should get a private window.
Again, time out.
No, still not working. Okay.
No,
Oh,
sir.
okay. Go to the Try Hack Me page and go to that Anthem page. No, on in your browser, the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Still not open. 249.204 and still not opening. Okay. Should
Can
not
I
be
try
there.
once again? Terminate and
Yeah, you can try if that works. And
what is the 69% it is showing?
uh, the percentage of completion, like how many questions you have answered in this room, what percentage of this room have you solved or completed?
Okay.
Your progress basically in this particular.
Okay. So can I terminate and once again?
Yeah, I think you should try that once. Excuse me. You did that open VPN thing, right?
Sorry, sir.
You connected to their network, right, with OpenVPN.
Yes. Actually, whenever I logged in, it came to this directly, and I went to Anthem. Every time, do I need to connect?
No, I mean that OpenVPN file that you get, did you run that?
Oh, yes. No, I did not run.
So that's why you're not able to connect.
Yeah.
Before you start working on the site, just you need to create that connection because these IPs are private IPs. So unless you have a system on your network with that IP, You won't be able to connect to anything using this unless you're connected on to their network. So that's what you need to keep in mind.
Giving some error opening configuration file.
Error opening configuration. Okay. Just go back again. Show me what command you use.
Yeah,
Show me the command once again. What?
some VPN.
This usually does not
Open
work
VPN.
without sudo.
We did that also. Open
Sudo
VPN.
open VPN and then error opening. Okay. Path need to.
Ah,
You're giving it a relative path. You need to make this absolute, not relative. Sorry, you are giving it an absolute path. You need to make this a relative path. Yes. Okay. Now it should work. Okay. So you should be connected now. The
then
IP will have changed because
deployed. Oh,
I think this time the thing is it's just you need to wait a couple more minutes because it's just been
yeah.
like 2-3 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. It's okay, sir. We'll continue. I guess it will open now because of that. I did not run that open VPN.
Yeah, you need to run that every time because
Yeah.
as soon as you shut your system down, that connection is gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is done. Anthem. I'm going to move on to another uh, machine on Cry Acme, which is based on Windows. Let me just get to it.
Again, I need to go to rooms, right? On rooms.
I'll show you just a moment. Okay, so this machine, this particular machine, the one that we're going to work on, is known as Retro.
Retro.
Yeah, so this is the one, Retro.
Oh, you have not shared. Okay. Yeah. Retro.
So I can share this link in the chat as well.
At once. For me, it is disabled, sir. Deploy.
Disabled this particular room.
Not room that deploy.
You have to
I guess
join room first if you haven't done so already.
how I need to do
You
that.
should be getting like a button, like a bar somewhere which says to join the room. Show me what you're getting.
Yeah.
Okay, deploy button itself is disabled. Just try reloading the page once. Try reloading it.
Still, it's.
Just scroll
I
upwards
observed
once.
like few things are like join room. I should do
Yeah.
this join room.
Yeah, you were saying something?
Actually, few times I've seen like in CH class you had explained. So those things I was trying to access, but I couldn't do that. Then I had to go to that something I did. Then I was able to access the persons. Okay. So once we join the room, then we can
Then you can do.
access that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, a lot of the stuff on the website is free, so joining or does not really do anything, but they've just added this mechanism in place to be able to allow separate access to people who have like paid for a subscription. So there are some rooms that are only available if you pay, if you buy a subscription. Uh, you like what other things were you saying regarding the CH session?
This only and one more like in the penetration test I'll be thorough of whatever I learned in the CH class, right? So the
Yes.
same thing it will come and on lot of things. Just I won't be able to get that attacks and all, but what we have done practical things only will do in all these things.
Yeah, the method will be the same. The tools that you use, of course, a lot of the tools that you see here, you'll use those.
Yeah.
And depending on what kind of configuration is present, you may choose something else as well. I can't specifically, say what sort of systems or what sort of software and hardware combinations are present there. So the exact thing is it varies a lot. But yeah, the basics definitely they'll be the same everywhere. Your process will be the same. Okay, your scanning, enumeration, searching for vulnerabilities, all of those things are going to remain the same across the board.
Actually, I had many doubts, but with this class, many things got cleared. Actually,
Okay, okay, that's good.
I'm able to
Even
access.
if there's anything else from the CH class that you still, you're still not
Yeah,
sure
I
of.
was going through that, but few things I'm having that difficulties to configure this one. That, but now again we came for auditing, so again in between I stopped.
Okay.
those things. Yeah, I have to do that. And what's happening? Like I'm practicing, but I couldn't made a note of that, so I forgot anything. So I
Uh,
thought like I'll prepare notes whenever I practice those steps and all.
okay. Notes are definitely important. Without notes, there's a lot of things you're going to
Yeah,
forget because
because in a video also I cannot remember like where I should go and all.
see,
So
this is a very broad, field. So there's a lot of things you'll come across, a lot of things that you'll want to make note of for future reference.
yeah,
Because there is no way that you're going to remember everything the first time you see it. So
yeah,
there's no way.
yeah, yeah. I did many things, but I forgot again those things. Actually. I faced many difficulties to do that also, but I tried, I googled it, like I did those things.
That's the thing. See, Google is your best friend throughout this. I mean, in all of IT itself, basically, Google is your best friend.
Yeah,
Other tools will not come in as useful or may not come in as handy as Google. So that's the most important thing that you can use.
yeah. So I faced problem in sessions and even this command, change password command. Something yeah, I couldn't find out. You told that live Kali Linux we need to install for that.
Yeah, yes, for change ND password. Yes.
Yeah. And one more, but you told that open VPN or something. So no need of installing now. They have changed a lot of things. You told me.
OpenVPN just for like situations like this where tryhack needs to, like mm, you have the network and you need to connect to it. So it's only going to be there in these situations.
Yeah. And like in CH class, you were going here and you were getting many tools here only, but I don't have those things. I cannot find it here. Exactly where I should search in
You
all
see
the.
these different categories that you get like information gathering and vulnerability analysis. So these are like categories of tools. So if you click on each of them individually, like you'll see a lot of things there.
Okay.
So for information gathering also there are like subcategories. For vulnerability analysis, there are different subcategories. Like see, for DNS analysis, there's a subcategory. Even if you go there, then you'll see tools for that
Okay.
purpose. So that's the same thing. Just I'm not using Kali, I use Parrot. So it's just the interface is a little different, but it's the same thing basically.
Okay. If I don't have here, then I should install, right?
Yeah, and you can also try searching if you don't want to go through this entire thing. If you know the name of the tool that you want to use, just try searching it. If it's there, it will show up. If not, then you'll need to install it separately.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Can
so
I
this
stop
is
sharing?
yeah. Stop. Yeah, you can stop sharing. Now let's see what we can do further. Okay, so we have our IP. This is the one that we'll be using. Let's first try running an nmap scan for it, a very basic scan.
Nowadays, I'm practicing whenever class over. So with that, like most of the doubts are clearing. Actually, I'm able to remember things.
That's what I always say. If you practice,
Yeah.
you won't feel like okay, no, how do I do this? Once you practice, you'll get the hang of things, and that's also a way to learn things rather than having to memorize anything. You
Yeah.
practice, you get it. Like,
During
that's
CH class, I was so busy, like I couldn't continuous meetings with her, so I couldn't do that. So I thought, like now, I'll at least half an hour I'll keep aside for this. Whatever is the meeting and anything, let them do that later.
even half an hour is it's enough if you really just work uninterrupted for that half an hour and just devote all that time to
Yeah,
like focus on your concept.
yeah.
So our basic nmap scan tells us again there are two open ports: HTTP for the web server and 3389 for RDP.
Yeah.
Let's try doing a more thorough scan. Not sure what that will reveal, but it's always a safe bet. Okay, so since there is a web server, maybe we could try to access it. Excuse me. Ah, okay. So this is the default page for the server, so there's no. This is not a website itself. Okay, there's nothing we're going to find this page itself. So let's just let's just see if there are any other potential entry points open for us. Any other ports which might be running. Sorry, any other ports which might be open.
So regressive scan gives even port and everything, right? Version and script runs, everything it will give, right?
The aggressive scan combines script scanning, version detection scanning, operating system detection, and trace route.
Port, port also. Port.
Port is definitely going to happen. That's why you're running Nmap. But the thing is, see, when you're running a scan for all ports, that's definitely going to take longer than a scan that you're running for a fewer number of ports. So if you run an aggressive scan for all ports, and we don't even know whether there are more ports open, so in that case, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
So once you find out whether the other ports are open or not, then you can run an aggressive scan specifically targeted toward those ports, so that you don't, so that Nmap does not have to try the same thing with every port, and then you keep end up sitting here for half an hour waiting for results.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to see whether other ports are open. If they are open, then we can switch to aggressive scans or vulnerability scans,
Okay.
whatever might be required.
It's telling Microsoft Terminal Service. So again, it's RDP only, right? Terminal Service.
On 3389, yeah,
Yeah.
that's RDP.
Yes, sir.
Then you can see that there are only two open ports that Nmap is able to find for us, right? Okay, so if I want to run an aggressive scan, I don't have to run it for all these ports. I can just specify port 80 and 3389. Now what we find here, okay, depends. Okay, it's not really giving us any usable information here. It's telling us that it's a Microsoft IIS server, but that is pretty much something that we already knew. Microsoft Terminal Services. This is RDP, so nothing that we can do with RDP unless we have any credentials. Okay,
We can check robot.txt. Robots.
robot.txt is present in websites. We don't have a website yet.
Whatever it is showed, that is not a website.
That's just the page when you get when you run a server. Okay, so
Okay.
this is the icon. For Windows, you have IIS servers. For Linux, you have Apache. So this is the page you get when you're running a Windows server. If there were a
Okay.
website here, it would be a different case.
Okay.
But no, this is just a server. This is not a website. Windows server. Okay, we'll continue with this in tomorrow's session.
Yeah.
So,
Just give me hint, sir. I'll try that.
hint, okay, there are tools that we have used previously to try and figure out what kind of directories might be present on a web server.
But to check that, I should enter into that web server, right? How I forgot that.
Hmm. We'll need to use something known as directory brute forcing.
Directory brute forcing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll, based on that.